Welcome to Teaching Orchestra. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the left hand in Dorian Variations. And in spite of the poor fingerings given at measure 17, there's a lot of fourth finger in Dorian Variations. Please don't let your first violins play open E here. And I'm not one of those never ears, but I'm okay with open E, but not here. In fact, there's nothing on the E string in Dorian Variations. Nothing. Don't do it. This piece is about the lower strings on the instruments, and that's why I like it so much. There are fourth finger indicators all over the place, but that doesn't mean that your students are going to use their fourth fingers. Just because there's a number 4 above the note doesn't give them magic powers to use their fourth fingers all the time, and they might not have the best fourth finger technique. But if you get them comfortable and you teach them how, it might increase their chances of actually using their fourth finger. In the Teaching Companion, which is available on teachingorchestra.com, I have some finger builder exercises that I really like to use for this to get your students really comfortable using their fourth finger. And if you do these every day, your students are going to have enough pressure with their pinkies and they're going to have enough relaxation of left hand that they can sound really good. They're going to be rock stars. And if they're having trouble getting enough weight down, have them loosen up the left hand. And here's one of my top secret exercises that I do with my students all the time, and it's called pull-ups. And I haven't talked about pull-ups on this channel in a while, but pull-ups are what you wear when you go to your lesson without practicing all week. But they're also an exercise that I use to help teach vibrato. In Season 1, Episode 4, I have a demonstration video that I use to loosen up the left hands called pull-ups. And gosh, I think I need to remake some of those videos because the quality is kind of cringe. I don't know. Do you think my video quality is getting better as we go on? Drop a comment if you think I'm improving enough to remake the content from Season 1. Doing these exercises without the bow can be really helpful. I call these finger tappers, and we tap the fourth finger while holding down the second finger, and we see if we can hear the A's every time we tap down the fourth finger. It's kind of a diagnostic tool and it's kind of a strength building tool at the same time. If we're tapping hard enough, it means we've got enough pressure, but just doing finger tappers helps to build that left hand strength. So I think it's a good exercise. If we can hear the A's, it's a good thing. So my other secret weapon is this tunneling exercise that's down here. And if we can tunnel, we're probably using curved fingers and we probably have good left hand shape, and that's going to be really important. A lot of students will play with the flat pinky instead of the curved pinky, and a curved pinky is going to give us more leverage, as I explained better in Season 1, Episode 2, which is another cringe video from Season 1 that I may or may not redo. And if you're worried about your cellos and basses getting left out, don't. The cellos are working on second position, so they're putting first finger down for F sharp, and they're tapping down their fourth finger A's. And with your bass players, they're holding down their first finger on the G string, and they're tapping F sharp with their fourth finger. If they get bored of this and you've got a hotshot bass player that needs something different to do, here you could have them do finger replacers and have them practice shifting. I mean, you can really do a lot with this if you want to. Now, in Dorian Variations, in measures 13, 32, and 53, here's 13, 24, 32, and 53. There's some optional second position fingerings here. And if you've got an advanced cellist or if your whole cello section is advanced, this is really cool. And teaching your kids shifting is a really cool thing. Now your bass players, they come out of the box shifting. They have to shift here in 46 and 47. So they're doing second position. But the way this is edited, you get some cheater notes down here if they can't shift. If you've got a hotshot bass player, you can get them to shift even more if you want. And I want to touch on the subject of vibrato again because vibrato can really enhance this piece a lot. And not just in the andante section, but the accented notes. Wow, if your orchestra can vibrate those, it's going to be super classy. And if you take this to a contest and you vibrate the accent notes, wow. And if you resonate those brushstrokes before the accents and you vibrate those, you're going to break the rating system. If you're able to vibrate the resonance here and accent with the left hand too, OMG, it's going to be amazing. Okay, the trophies are just going to explode. exploding trophies. Wow. That's going to make me so happy. If you play this and your students are using vibrato, oh my goodness, I will give your orchestra a standing ovation. Now, if your students are not using vibrato at this point, they're at least second-year students and they're not using vibrato, that's going to be even more than my cringe videos in season 1 where I miss focus in some of my videos and I'm using fluorescent lighting. Yuck. And at this level, vibrato is pretty much mandatory. If they're too tight to play with vibrato, they can still sort of get by, but the fourth fingers are probably going to be weak and the shifting is going to be rough. And for this, the cellos and basses shift, maybe the cellos, but the basses definitely, unless they're using the cheater notes. But by second year, the violins and violas are going to start shifting probably by the end of the year. And if they're not shifting already, and if they're too tight to play vibrato, then they're too tight to shift. All right, so that's my elevator pitch for vibrato. Vibrato and rosin in this episode, goodness. Anyway, in my next video, I'm going to talk about the common problems. So if you're waiting for how to teach the pizzicato so that your kids don't rush, the wait's going to be over tomorrow, and I hope to see you then.